about the challenge that Neath will put up against the All Blacks. We've seen Cardiff, we've seen Pontypool, we've seen Swansea. Now, this Neath team, on paper at least, or thus far this season, has shown better performances than what we've seen from the other clubs. Is their challenge a realistic one then?
Oh, most certainly. They along with Neath, are probably the most powerful sides in Wales. But, you know, on this tour, we've seen the New Zealand forwards dominating the line-out. And I think it's going to be so critical today that Gareth Llewellyn and Mike Whitson, Pugh and Mark Jones have got to challenge the All Blacks. Ian Jones has been magnificent on the two occasions he's played. And then you see, when they win the line-out, they go on this rolling ball and they suck players in and they set their back row off. So it's vital that Kevin Phillips throws in well, that they get line-out possession.
We've seen Pontypool play, and their challenge was a rather slow one. Now, Neath tend to play it so much quicker than Pontypool would. Is that the secret of it all?
Yes, they play the game at 100 miles an hour. They don't let the opposition settle. They tear into them. And we see Kevin Phillips taking these short penalties, driving at the forwards. But I think it's also vital today. There's a strong wind out there. And in Paul Thorburn, he's a guy that can kick 60 or 70 metres. So I think he'll have to vary his game to save his forwards. But he's an experienced captain. He'll do very well.
We never really give New Zealand three-quarters any credit. We're always talking about All Black forwards. These are something of a surprise, though.
Well, yes, I think my admiration for Joe Stanley is very, very high indeed. I think he's probably, along with Sella, the best centre in the world. So many things happen off Stanley, and I know that Walter Little enjoyed playing with him at Pontypool. So on the big winger, Tigamala, I'm looking forward to this exciting back division.
So Gary Wetton leads out with the All Blacks then. And what a change it makes for the local supporters to see the visitors run onto the field clad in the local traditional colours. A first taste for the All Blacks of the Knoll in 1989. And out comes Kevin Phillips, and yet another strange sight for the local supporters, because here are Wales's All Blacks clad in white with a black hoop. And already the chant of Neath. Neath comes up. Captain Kevin Phillips, the man in charge of this local side today. So we heard the anthems being sung. There's only one more little preliminary to go through, and that, of course, is the feared haka. Supporters trying to drown that haka. The Neath team in a circle, huddled in a circle, their backs to that haka. And interesting that Neath will kick off, which means probably that Kevin Phillips won the toss and decided not to allow the All Blacks the chance of the initial roll. First glimpse then of Paul Thorburn, and just there, clad in red, is England's leading referee in Fred Howard. It's Fred Howard that asks of the opposition. It's Paul Thorburn that starts for Neath. Already a scrum, then the ball not travelling the initial 10 yards, and not for the first time on tour, Phil Bennett, we see that skill not quite up to the mark.
No, that's a skill which the forwards appreciate very much. They like that ball to hang there to give them a chance to get into the opposition. Unfortunately, Paul Thorburn didn't put it to 10 metres.
First scrum, and the All Black scrum very firm. Space for Gallagher then. Tugamala comes on the inside burst. What a strong man this winger is still going. The All Blacks win it into midfield. Little checks back inside. In support is Botica, but taken out. Good tackling by Neath. and tremendous surge right from the outset from the All Blacks. And just a little injury, far side of the field. We saw Tuigamala. Play goes on. And surprising for the All Blacks to hold it at a scrum situation. Normally it's delivered so quickly. Quick look then at Kevin Phillips there in the middle of the Neath front row. All sorts of attacking options open here as Basham goes blindside. But again, the scrum power. But the referee penalises the All Blacks.
And that was a welcome relief for the for Neath, because they were pushing, the All Blacks were pushing Neath way back towards the line. Good scrimmaging by the New Zealand All Blacks.
This is Paul Thorburn then. Wales' captain last season. The points machine in the Neath team. And Tuigamala, the right winger, having had just the one run thus far, is already leaving the field. He's being taken off the field. So what a blow for the All Blacks, because with John Kirwan already injured, now the second winger injured, it means that they'll struggle to fill that position. Fitzpatrick aims at this line out. Basham to Botica. A lovely little pass into space. Straight into it comes Little. Basham just a little slow and quickly engulfed by Neath forwards. And Neath take that off the opposition, and they run it wide. This is Edmonds. And the crowd suddenly voice their feelings, because they delighted with that mauling to start with, which won possession off the opposition, and then that little run and kick ahead.
Good play by Neath, because they used that left-hand side of Edmonds, knowing that the New Zealand winger Tuigamala was off the field.
So on comes Craig, or he had thoughts of coming on, Craig Innes, who played on the wing against Swansea on Saturday, no stranger then to the right wing role, finally allowed on the field. But play goes on. That's Earl that wins that. Basham, the tester for Alan Edmonds. Botica so quickly there. Edmonds does remarkably well. Thorburn as well. Well collected by Gallagher. He'll put it straight back from where it came. But that will run too far. John Gallagher, the All Black fullback. So the breeze at the back of the All Blacks at the moment. As Thorburn will restart into the wind, the ball should hold. That's perfectly placed. But the ball just scrambles away.
Sorry about that.
Two numbers 7 at the back there. Henderson for the All Blacks. Morris for Neath. This is Sean Fitzpatrick, the All Black hooker. Brooke got fingers first of all to it, then Henderson's the man that got it back, but the referee not happy with holding back as the Neath players try to get through in that loose tap down.
And this will be interesting to see what Kevin Phillips does. Does he go for the short penalty? No, he's saying to Thorburn, let's settle it down, put it 30-40 metres.
It's Thorburn again then, and interesting that Neath have kept their heads. They haven't been overawed by it all. They could have so easily gone off at 100 miles an hour and soon blown up, but they're taking it very steadily indeed. Fitzpatrick aims at Jones. A young lock, two-handed, perfectly done. Again, that's the tight drive. But again, Neath have stemmed that and have taken it off them. And again, the crowd delighted. This is Paul Williams, the outside half. That'll test Gallagher. Perfectly placed, dumped by Morris, loose, quickly through. Here's Leahy, backface Henderson. And Paul Thorburn from somewhere drives into that ruck from full back. Well, over enthusiasm perhaps, sighting that try line and just yielding a penalty.
That was great mauling by Neath because the All Blacks went in with the ball, but great play by Brian Williams. They ripped the ball out that maul. Perfect kick by Williams out at half, and that was the welcome that Gallagher didn't want after the Neath side bearing down on him.
Botica to clear his lines, and nicely done by the outside half. Man playing for the third successive time in that jersey. Kevin Phillips just passing on the signal to his scrum half, Chris Bridges. With Whitson jumping at 2. And Gareth Llewellyn in the middle. Mark Jones at the back. It's aimed at Jones. On the peel is Brian Williams. Bridges picks up, though. It's into midfield. This is Leahy. Checks inside. Zinzambrook. And does his forwards a huge favour by staying on his feet, providing the platform as Phillips drives on. Past the first man. Sets back. Bridges. The high tester, Gallagher again sets himself. Well, just a little bit early, over-enthusiastic again, but really it is putting the All Blacks to the sword at the moment. And Brook has taken that quickly. And, well, Neath weren't 10 metres, but they could have been caught out there.
But that's unusual for the New Zealanders. They panicked a bit there. We had a number 8, Zinzambrook, going to take the penalty. They usually give it to the outside half or the full-back to put it into touch safely.
So offered a second bite. Now it's Botica, the outside half, that has a chance to settle things just inside Neath's territory. So Botica, scorer of 17 points, already on tour, 13 of them against Swansea on Saturday. That's Mark Jones, record try-scoring forward here at the Knoll. 25 last season. And again, it's aimed at the back this time, though. Earl beats Jones to the ball and makes the initial drive. But again, there isn't that surge that we saw on Saturday, the rolling ball. This is Botica. Fires a huge kick downfield, which will carry too far. Well, we were disappointed with that because really he wanted to test Paul Thorburn. So it's not the buzzing Neath that we're used to. It's cold and calculating at the moment. Williams with a restart. Again, that offers his forwards a chance to get there, but it's New Zealand's advantage. This is Little, goes for the break. Well tackled by 3 Neath players there, and again they run away with it. Again, the crowd disappointed because they saw a chance for Kevin Phillips to counter-attack. But Fred Howard, the referee, had seen some indiscretion. Lots of options on that open side, lots of space as Bishop goes for the gap, a huge gap. Gallagher on a lovely slanting run. What an angle from Gallagher. Tremendous try. Scored against Pontypool, scores again today, his second try of the tour.
Perfect ball. Bishop had made the run, but look at Gallagher. He gave him the option. You see the cover was going on the outside. Gallagher came back inside. Tremendously fast, the full-back. Excellently played, and he's over. That's a superb try. Just look here. Excellent scrum ball. There's a neat pass, but look at the angle of Gallagher. There's a lovely dummy, but he gives Bishop the choice. There I am, coming on the inside. It's slippery. The Neath defenders can't turn. John Gallagher, one of the fastest full-backs in the world. He's over. Superb try.
There he is. He'll be pleased with that as an early taster of things to come. Tremendously exciting, attacking fullback. Not taking on the kicking duties today, though, as he did in Pontypool. It'll be Botica's turn today. successful at Swansea and successful with his first kick today. So 11 minutes gone, it's Neath 0, New Zealand 6. That's Tuigamala, the Samoan winger who has had to leave the field, the All Black right wing, the tracksuited doctor at his side. And so with Kerwin and Tuigamala out to the side for at least the next few matches, there's an open space on that right wing for someone of the talent of Craig Innes, who normally plays at centre. It's Paul Thorburn with the restart. Just a bit longer. It did hold up, not quite long enough, but tremendous driving by the Neath forwards. This is the All Blacks, untidily delivered to Basham. And indeed, in trouble is Botica. He will have handled that on the ground. He had been tackled. He refused to release. Phil Pugh was so quickly there, and that's why, after only 2 games, that he's an essential part of the Neath setup in a game of this sort of magnitude. Quickly there to tackle, and a penalty awarded to Neath.
I find this quite amazing, Kevin. Quite right. There's the bottom, the outside half, body under pressure. Good play by Phil Pugh, and there's where I think the referee penalised 2 movements there with the Neath coming in over the top pile in.
So Kevin Phillips had the thoughts of taking it quickly and taking on the All Black forwards, but someone persuaded him somewhere that perhaps Paul Thorburn could take a potted goal here, because really it's well within his range at some 20 metres. A man who already has 50 points to his credit this season for the club. A final look from Paul Thorburn. Strikes that. Halves the New Zealand lead with that penalty goal. So at last, something realistic for the crowd to celebrate, and Neath have now 3 points, New Zealand 6. So already just 3 points the difference. Neath certainly taking the game to the opposition. The Botica wants the sand into midfield for the restart. Fred Howard, the referee, wanting them to perform that little a bit quicker to get on with things. It does take up time. Joe Stanley just to the right of the kicker. It's Botica, the restart. Gareth Llewellyn got fingers to it. It's Phil Pugh that tidies up and turns and makes it available. This is Bridges, this is Paul Williams, and the outside half. Under pressure from Ian Jones. Again, does things very nicely indeed. No over-ambition, just to get that ball upfield and to settle play. That's Andy Earl, flanker.
Interesting that Neath to put Mark Jones to the front of the line to try and mark Gary Wetton.
It's Earl again that wins it, but not cleanly. Kevin Phillips looks for the little drive. It's open field. The pass to Martin Morris. What a tackle. Tremendous tackle by Henderson. This is Basham. Botica tries to dummy his way through and sidestep. This is McDowell, the prop. That's more of a props pass, that, as Henderson tries to make something of that. Quickly there's Walter Little, but the referee back in midfield. So both sides just looking for those fringe drives. No room there as Morris tried to take on opposite number Henderson. Tremendous tackle from the Otago flanker. And a stern little word from Fred Howard, the referee. Both captains there listening, seemingly intently. Well, still holding the All Blacks away for a second as Kevin Phillips has words with his forwards. Gary Wetton from his position in the middle of that scrum, probably passing on a message as well.
And the same position as when the All Blacks scored a try earlier. Plenty of room on that narrow side.
Interesting that the All Blacks, despite a scrum in midfield, have both their centres left side, which means on the far side it really is an open space situation. Gallagher poised to enter as the front rows finally get to grips. Bash up again. into that space on the right-hand side. Innes this time, checks inside so easily, he'll get there. Twice exactly, he hasn't placed it. Yes, says the referee. Innes feels that he hadn't placed it. But the referee has awarded the try out at that point where he saw Innes sliding in. He felt that he hadn't placed the ball down. He wanted to get round behind the posts.
And yet again, they used that narrow side. A lovely pass and superb play by Gallagher. Drew the two men, and Innes just came off his right foot, beat Thorburn, all ends up. Nice little sidestep. Mark Jones can't get there. Let's look very carefully. The referee said that he had played down, but I think the wing was quite right.
7 points the difference then. Innes, this try. So this is the kick that faces Frano Botica. His most difficult so far this game. Well, just fails with that, but still, there's now a gap of 6 points between the two sides.
And the identical position as the last try, and again Bishop going on that side. Goes to kick, but there's a lovely pass here, and just watch for Gallagher. Here he comes in, and there's the flick pass which takes two men out. Nice little play by Innes on the inside of Thorburn. Mark Jones is never going to catch the winger, and there's where the winger goes over for another great try.
Dropped restart then, as the try wasn't converted. Just a little bit too far again, as Bishop thinks of a run before running into Phil Pugh. This is good ball for Neath. Leahy looks for some blindside space. What a good tackle though. Still one on the retreat. This is Paul Williams. This will be angled for the corner. Right, as a former fullback anticipates that excellently, gets the pass away, and Gallagher does the rest.
But the one good feature of Neath this afternoon, that they've won a lot of more ball and ruck ball, and the one man who's been outstanding so far has been Phil Pugh.
Phil Pugh is that blonde-haired man at the back of that Neath lineout. That's Llewellyn who wins it. Good ball for Neath. This is Bateman on the short run, straight into Botica, delivers it back, but Williams wasn't quite ready for that, the prop forward. Bishop again then on a little run, has support inside. Didn't quite see it quickly enough. Bridges does tremendously well, receives a punch for his efforts from Fitzpatrick as well. The referee maintains that the ball should have been released on the ground. There's a little word with Fitzpatrick as well. And it all ends with a penalty awarded to the All Blacks, but they'll attempt to kick it goal. That's the distance that faces Frano Botica. Already 19 points to his credit on tour. Joint top scorer with John Gallagher. Botica then with a chance to take the All Blacks to double figures, and does so with ease. Botica, his second successful kick of the game, and that opens up a 10-point gap. Fourth orbit again. And this is better, but still Wetton gets there first. But again, Basham, some indecision there. Little tries to make something of that. Henderson very quickly in support. McDowell looking for a point to come in and take control. And Botica finally under pressure from Morris and Williams. Henderson just slightly hurt at the bottom of that ruck. The New Zealand flanker just limping to the back of the line out. As Phillips aims at Llewellyn again. Lovely two-handed stuff. This is Leahy, long pass, not well delivered. Higgs in trouble, they need to get up quickly. Awkward bounces, Thorburn slides through football style. Morris reclaims it. The ball just a little slippery. It's been a very wet morning here at Neath, and the effects there on the ball. Still Henderson feeling the effects of that earlier ruck. The play will go on with the All Blacks one man short of the line. Phil Pugh has gone into midfield for Neath, which means that they now have an extra man should they win the ball. And they do win it. Jones, the number 8, collects. And now then, Bridges, blindside, and then the high up and under from Williams. Fitzpatrick, the hooker, does remarkably well to fill in that little blindside role as Williams takes it on, but offside, says the referee.
And I'll tell you, there's no place for the faint-hearted out there. We've seen one New Zealander go off, and there's another one going to go off there. Once the ball's on the floor, both sets of forwards are piling in with their feet.
So another sad sight for New Zealand. Their second man in this game to leave the field. Tuigamala has already gone, the right winger. Now it's the open side flanker, Henderson. And he will be replaced, I would assume, by Mike Brewer. Two men from Otago. They play together for the provincial side. As Botica with a relieving kick. Just settles things, just short of the halfway line. Disappointment for Henderson, the man who is challenging for a test spot. And that's Mike Brewer, man who scored 2 tries against Swansea on Saturday. That's the captain, Wetton. Llewellyn again gets hands to that, and he's done remarkably well as the All Blacks interfere. As Neath, tremendous tackle by Pugh. This is a chance for Neath to drive in, but again, the referee blows, and Jeremy Pugh shows him the ball. It had emerged, said Jeremy Pugh.
And I think Frano Botica is going to learn one lesson out there before long, that when he gets that ball, he can't afford to dodge around. He's got to put it 40-50 metres, because the Neath forwards are piling in on him.
And I think just a little bit of nonsense in the front rows. Jeremy Pugh, the recipient of a little knock, will require some treatment. Fred Howard in the middle of that is not the best place to be, because it's heated in there. But Gareth Llewellyn at the line-out. We've seen all the Welsh clubs struggle thus far during the tour, Phil, at line-out, but Gareth Llewellyn today has done remarkably well.
Yes, he's tapped it and caught it once and tapped it back twice, and at least he's given Neath possession. And he's up against Ian Jones, who is outstanding prospect in the second row, so it's great to see a young Welsh forward doing well.
Jeremy Pugh certainly won't want to leave the fray. 10 points the difference, but still early days as far as Neath are concerned.
And again, the feature, we see Zinzan Brooks standing off on the narrow side.
This is Mark Jones, the first chance we've seen him with ball in hand. Falling rather hastily infield. Purvis takes advantage. Sets up the typical New Zealand drive. So Botica this time, the angled kick just across field and just away out of reach of Edmonds. So he's listened to Phil Bennett's advice, and but is taken quickly. But no, said the referee, he wasn't satisfied.
Well, the ball didn't go the 5 metres, but at least Neath are very alive. They're trying to keep the All Blacks thinking. That was good play by Alan Edmonds on the wing.
On this side, with the black headband, is Steve McDowell, the loose head prop forward of New Zealand. As Pugh stands off blindside. Interesting that Neath are doing to the All Blacks what they do to others. Taken quickly, this is Kevin Phillips. This is what we normally see from the Welsh All Blacks. So standing off is Mark Jones. He's made the initial ground, now he needs the support. It's on its way. Into midfield then, Leahy The little chip kick from Bateman, the chase is from Higgs, but just out of space.
That's more like the Neath we are used to. Quick penalty taken by Phillips. Mark Jones always standing off and driving back at the heart of the New Zealand players, and then some good hand in the backs. It was perfect ball laid back here, and just watch this chip there. It's a beautiful chip by Bateman. Saw that the New Zealand All Blacks were so fast, put it behind them, but it runs into touch.
This is Fitzpatrick. It's Wetton takes it richly unopposed. The timing perfect between he and Fitzpatrick, and the drive again. Well, a change of tactics then from the All Blacks. The tester for Thorburn collects the ball and Terry Wright at the same time. Brewer there as well, as Thorburn does remarkably well to stay on his feet. Still waiting for support. Finally goes to ground. And the referee whistles.
That was outstanding play by Paul Thorburn. He had 2 or 3 All Blacks coming down on him, but he showed his strength, showed his determination, and stayed on his feet.
And surprised to find that the advantage is offered to the opposition. Just queries it from the referee, Fred Howard. Brook, the early pickup and the drive. In midfield, Earl is the man that takes it on. See McDowell poised there, but a little bit of mishandling, but it's still out into midfield. A lovely pass, but the defence alert to it, driven back, and the referee again decides that the ball was being held on the ground, should have been released. Kevin Phillips takes it. The support is there in the shape of Edmonds. A little chip into space, and Craig is back there to cover it.
And we saw there that Bottiger put a suicide pass in the midfield. I think Stanley took it. He may have got away with it at Pontypool Park. He won't get away with it all this afternoon.
You see a number 19 at the back of that New Zealand line. That's Mike Brewer. He's taken over from Paul Henderson. One again by Neath. Bridges had thoughts of a run into midfield. Finally allows Leahy to put in a diagonal kick. Straight at Gallagher though. At the full-back, such good hands despite the slippery weather, good anticipation, good positioning, and well executed.
And the crowd are very annoyed at what they thought was a late tackle on Colin Leahy in midfield. It's an explosive match, there are a lot of boots getting in there, and I think the referee has got to have some help from his touch judges.
That's Brian Williams, Pembrokeshire farmer. He'll enjoy this confrontation. Llewellyn jumping shorter this time, still gets it. Williams on the retreat, the help from Mark Jones. They still protect the ball. Can they now release it though? And Jeremy Pugh and McDowell, and this time the referee was there and decides that it was a retaliatory punch from Pugh, but it's taken quickly, and it's Pugh, but he's lost possession. Were they 10 metres though? That's the question as Wright starts on a little counter-attack. This is Thorburn again. Beautifully collected from Thorburn, but the kick perhaps. Well, it's landed infield, and Thorburn, oh well, that's a late tackle. The referee will have to make, yes. Well, Thorburn was taken way after he'd hacked that ball upfield. And I'm surprised the referee hasn't had a word.
Great play by Thorburn, took that catch and just looked for where the ball bounces. He thought he was going straight in, no, it stayed there. Follows up, and there's where Zinzambrook took him late.
But some reward then for Paul Thorburn for his pains. A chance to kick his second penalty goal of the game. Quite a distance, just over 40 metres. A man who's scored 119 points for Wales, 53 to his credit for Neath in this opening month or so of the season. Paul Thorburn then. That's beautifully struck. Will it curl in? Yes, just hits a post. Ian Jones starts a counter-attack, gets it away to Wright. He hasn't found touch, it's to Thorburn. He'll hoist the return. This is putting pressure back. Llewellyn delivers to Pugh, he starts on a charge, collected by Purvis, laid back to Bridges, standing off is Jones, straight down the middle goes the number 8. It's laid back, the charge is Neath's this time. Tremendous surge, this is Bridges, this is Williams, the long pass, Leahy, but Morris was there as the extra man, but fails to collect, and in his collects Edmonds.
That was outstanding play by the Neath forwards. They drove in, Pugh was there, Mark Jones, he got another crack at him, perfect ball, but unfortunately sloppy handling and the ball went astray.
Well, the best attack mounted by Neath so far in the game. Tremendous surge, forwards and backs again involved. The aim is at Mark Jones. This is Leahy again, but that wasn't straight. There's Paul Williams and Colin Leahy just having a little discussion. Bash up again, the tester into midfield. Quickly there is Botica to pressurise it, gets it back as well. A little nudge forward, perhaps from Earl. The referee was there very quickly there. And the crowd just congratulating Fred Howard. They felt once or twice perhaps that he hasn't favoured Neath.
Yes, they're very partisan here at the Knoll, and they want their favourites to receive all the decisions.